Hey guys, Crawler Ted here, in the garage. I am getting ready to start the Sawback build. I've got it sitting here, everything's all laid out. We're going to do a build vid for you on this rig. I did a video earlier of the unboxing and kind of went over all the parts pretty good, I think. So this time we'll build this baby. Let's get this thing put together, eh? Get it out there and try it out. So these rails are really sweet, eh? Look at that. Nice, eh? Anyway, I don't need those yet. I'm going to turn the camera down here. I've got some stuff laid out. We're going to start with the axles, just kind of work our way through the manual, just like you should do, you know what I mean? Piece of cake, right? So let's get started. So there we go, the G-made Sawback. There's the manual, a few parts kicking around here. So let's open this up. The diffs are the first thing we're going to do in here. So I've got everything out and ready to go. I was just thinking here, yeah, naturally, eh? It just hit me that it's probably going to be Phillips Head hardware, and sure enough. And that's how it goes, eh? Alright. Okay, so let's put this thing together. So first off is the innards for the tranny, eh? The bevel gears, bevel gear shaft, all has to be assembled with the C-clips and such, right? Let's find them. Big ones and little ones, got all kinds of little pieces in here. There we go. Okay, so these little C-clips can be a bugger sometimes, but I just like to try and get a hold of them with the edge of my pliers and pop them in there. It's good to try and contain it if you think it's good, because if they fly, they can fly pretty far sometimes, you know what I mean? So I'm going to do both as I go along. May as well prep all the parts for both diffs, you know what I mean? They're same anyway, so see, there we go, piece of cake. So there's the two little pinion gears. Alright, and then we need bearings. So, I'm going by the manual here. So here's the housing. So we want a bearing in each side of that. It's got to be these ones here, eh? So there we go. We got a bearing on the outside, bearing on the inside. Pretty standard, right? Drop the pinion gear in there. Okay, let's do it again on this one. Alright. Get in there, you bugger. Okay, there we go. Okay. So now this is a little different, okay? So it looks like the spool or the locker sits a little differently than what a person might be used to. So first we got these plastic retainers. Okay, see these little plastic retainer piece? So then a bearing drops inside of the plastic retainer. Okay. Alright. So see, I've got the bearing inside of that bad boy. And then that goes inside the diff. Inside the diff housing there, you see that? So the axle's going to come through, and it's going to this bearing is going to carry the end of the axle. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. I need to put one on the other side. tiny little bearings in there. Okay. So the same thing, it just basically sits into the end of the tube, right? So now we've got 2 of them in there, okay? And I'm going to do the other axle here quick. Alright. So those just drop in there quite easily, eh? Okay, make sure everything's home, seated properly, alright. So the next we want to put the C's on. What do we got here for hardware? Looks like 4 little shorties. We're going to assume that they use the guide the same way as Axial does, eh? For screw sizes. So 4 of those, and we need 4 nuts as well. Alright, so yeah, all Phillips hardware, but meh, whatever, I guess, not a big thing. So we got to make sure we hold the axle the correct way, the diff housing. So I want it like that, and then position arrows to the top. There's 2 little arrows inside there, and it wants those to the top. So otherwise the angle will be wrong, eh? Oh, it does give you... Does it give 2 choices? Huh. Okay, well, I'm just gonna... I don't know why there's... It tells you to have the arrows up, but it almost looks like it could go together, or you could... It almost looks like it's clockable or something, perhaps, but I don't believe that's the case, so I'm just going to go with what they're showing me. Okay, so slap a couple screws into there. Alright. So a bolt and a nut hold that bad boy together. Snug it down. Okay, so we're just getting these the C's put on here. Make sure that they're snugged down good. Alright. Other side, like this. Arrows up. Okay. Alright. Okay. Grab a hold of that bad boy with the pliers so I can tighten her up good. I just recently talking to a fella at PM, I guess it was Friday night. He was in there checking out the comp crawlers and thinking about getting into a comp crawler and picking up an SCX for his son. but he has a G made on R1 rock crawler, and we were talking a little bit, and he does just some recreational kind of rock crawling and stuff with it. And like he says, you know, he loves the look of it, and it works pretty good for, you know, just general crawling around and stuff like that, which has, you know, always been my opinion too. It probably doesn't, like you say, as I said before, when it comes to a comp situation, then, you know, we might need to talk some upgrades. But so okay, so the way that the spool goes in here is kind of odd too, I guess. So the shafts are going to hold everything in, obviously, but you know how in the axial housing the ring and pinion gear just kind of fit in there. This one, well, I guess it sort of drops into place. I guess it still does. It's just a little sloppy until the axles fit into it, you know. It's just not quite the same because the locker or spool isn't sitting in those two big bearings like it does in the axial diff. So, you know, it just rides free, and it's going to be carried by the axles. So let's put a little grease on that bad boy. Bust out the trusty marine grease with the grease gun attachment. Use that crap on everything. There we go. Okay, drop that in there. So the axles are tapered, or they have a flat spot, you know. So we'll just stick it in there. Find the hole in the locker. There we go. Okay, so that went in well. Okay. That can't be right. I must have them. Put the wrong one on the wrong side. Let's try this. Like that. Come on. There it is. Ah! Okay. Alright. So I've got both axles in there. Spread the grease around a bit. Alright. Let's do this other one as well. So the front one got the dog bones axles, of course, and the rear gets the straight axles. Anybody have one of these? It's the Pro Boat grease gun for their tubes of grease. Handy little unit. I've got the tub as well. I mean, you know, so you can dip in there and do whatever you want. But the grease guns, it's a handy little unit, right? PM has them on the shelf there. You can buy it's not even that expensive. Tube of grease and the gun together in a kit, and away you go. Lasts for a long time too, right? And I use it for all my props, stuff like that with the boating, right? Prop shafts. For all my prop shafts, I mean. Okay, so I bet we can probably put the bearing in there. Couple bearings in the end of the tubes. So the one axle, oh, did I grab the long one there? Yeah, so the one axle is a little bit longer. Come on. There it is. Little bugger, eh? Okay, so there we go. Same idea. So you can see it's fully supported once everything's in there. So it's just different, that's all. Alright, so by the book here, it wants us to finish the front axle first. So let's do that now. 4 little guys here to put this diff cover on. Little chrome jobbies. Come on. That's sweet, eh? That's a nice cover. That's pretty tricked that it's metal too. Okay, and so I don't need to thread lock those because it's going into the, look at that, a magnetic screwdriver, doggone it. Because I'm going into the plastic housing, I'm not going to put any thread lock on those. Uh-oh. And they're so small, this screwdriver is too big. Let me grab a different one. You can gaze at that diff case on your back. Oh wow, it's amazing! Alright. Zip this thing closed. I've got a buddy that's going to do the painting on the body for me. I can paint, you know, I'm a rattle can guy. I mean, I can paint, it's not that I can't. And I can well, I try to get creative sometimes. It's, you know, I'm not a fabulous painter, but we got a few guys here in town that airbrush. So, and one of the guys, Cam 2040, one of the Calgary Crawlers, he airbrushes too, and he's done a few things. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get him to do it just for the heck of it. So let's see what. I'm kind of giving him free reign too. You know, I don't really have any ideas on what I want or how I want it or anything. So. See what he comes up with. So I think he's going to pick that up tomorrow, so I'll be excited to see what goes on there. Make sure I don't lose that axle out of there, eh? There goes my bearing. Come on now. So what do you think of the, what's your opinion on the G-made air-filled tires? I don't know. Personally, I'm not sold. I keep my tires are sealed anyway, so they're, you know, they hold air, and I do like that. But I'm not really sold on inflating them to more than that, you know. So, I mean, I know it comes down to, like I said before, personal preference and stuff, so. Boy, those look sweet, eh? Nice little axle when it's done. You know? Love those metal caps, I gotta say. Metal covers. Okay, so we want some steering knuckles. Rear is after. So it's just the little step screws, easy enough, eh? Simple stuff. Very Tamiya-ish now, huh? You know what I mean? It's same kind of thing, right? Same poop, different pile. So here's the axle. I don't imagine it's behind the axle steering, is it? No, it can't be, eh? Okay, so let's find all our bearings here. Oops. I don't think that there's parts available yet, you know, even knuckles and stuff like that. I heard I heard Lyle saying something the other night. Somebody was getting too close to his Sawback, and he was like, "There's no parts available for this yet." It might have been me with the Summit. I don't remember for sure. But okay, it looks like these knuckles are both identical and right up the center. You know what I mean? Not offset or anything. So just gonna go ahead and slap that into place. Come on. Okay. These are also tiny little Phillips head there. I guess it works. You know, you just gotta have a couple different sizes of Phillips for the larger ones, and then for these tiny guys. And I did it. I just said it doesn't look like it has BTA or anything, and it does not. And I put the knuckle on backwards. Jeez. I'll probably have to cut this part. I don't need anybody seeing that I put the knuckle on backwards. That wouldn't be cool. You suck. Why you suck so bad? There we go. Change of angle. Come on. Yeah, that's better. See, when the knuckle faces the right way, it's easier to hook up linkages and stuff. Hilarious. Okay. Another one on there. Oops, I think the next step after the axles is the springs, the leaf spring setups. I don't know, man. Well, I'm gonna roll with the leaf springs, but yeah, I've had my issues with leaf spring setups before, so I'm just not sure. Okay, so I got the bearing in there. So the big, okay, so we need a couple E-clips here. Looks like the E-clips will give the bearing a place to stop, you know, on these shafts. Oh, I guess you can't see that, hey? The bigger E-clips go onto the shafts to hold the bearing from going too far. I don't know why I grabbed this pair of pliers. I hate this pair. It has no teeth, eh? Okay, so there we go. I got the two E-clips on. So, does it get another bearing? Probably does, eh? Yes. Of course it does. That's why we put the clips on there. Okay. Bada boom. rear lockouts. There we go. So now we just got to bolt this together, and again it's bolts and nuts through the holes there. So let me just find them. Awesome. They got a little groove, a little dip in there for the nut and the screw actually to ride in, so that's kind of trick. Suck. Okay. The Phillips head kind of sucks, eh? This driver is maybe they're deep enough, I don't know. It's better for the little screws, you know, it's got kind of a fine tip. Let me give it a try. Okay. See, it slips, eh? It's too small. Aha, there we go. Just holding it wrong. I was doing it wrong. Okay, so there we go. There's the rear axle all buttoned up. Bam! Nice, smooth. Oh yeah, beauty. The front. Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Okay, so